1, 2. Let's see. Do it. Make sure I got even some voice here. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and set. Dun, 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 dun. Is that a condenser? Sure it is. All right. I think. All right. Here we go. We are trying a bunch of different things here. Yeah, first time. All right. All right. Good. Everybody. Paul, are you there?
I'm here.
Paul's there.
Here.
You doing a roll call?
Roll call. Kathy. Yeah. Well. Yeah. We know.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Present.
Rich Canova
Yes, sir.
and Mr. Wayne, King of the Lollipop Guild, mail-in. You don't need to.
I got
Wayne.
the short seat.
You might want to.
Right, you need, no, it's like he's riding a horse.
My God,
Stand up.
We need some phone books.
that's not a.
Stand up.
It's just a test, okay?
Kathy.
It's a test.
Wait, stand up.
My God.
Oh my
I
God.
didn't realize you were that short.
Did I come in here to get
He
this?
didn't either.
This
My
press?
God,
You did. You did. All right. So,
It's a little guy.
CL. Good morning. Laura says, "Good morning. Looks like a full house today." That's right. It's Mike and the SNS and All Stars. Wayne Malin. No credentials. Paul Ash. No credentials. Kathy. Pornhub. And
Oh. Oh.
Wayne. Let's see. Rich Canova. Pornhub.
And I saw the picture to prove it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sandra. Kathy's over Sandra.
Your fishing picture.
What?
Jeez.
Oh my God! You're right between the two retired guys. Wow. That is.
And the little guy on the other end.
No. She's safe, but what about you? That's-
You know,
I'm scared. I'm scared, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had little.
He's ready to go. This is great.
Victoria, we're doing the best we can, so turn your volume up. Thanks.
Oh, she couldn't hear us.
Well, she goes, mics need to be closer.
All right. Is that better?
I don't know. Tracy, good morning. Carol, good morning. Carol says boo on Pornhub. The movie must have been rejected. I don't know. Yeah, that's- Going on.
Oh, she's going on.
Otherwise, that is.
She's OnlyFans.
That's
She's
it's OnlyFans. Yeah,
Right, so
yeah.
It's a competitor.
She's
That's
not going
right.
on any fishing trips.
No, like damn it. All right, so we're getting nasty here, but we're all kind of converged here today because we all went to the meeting last night for the Board of Finance public hearing, which lasted about an hour and 10 minutes or so.
8:05.
Yeah. So I mean, there was some good information. However, it turned into, no offense, but Phil Michelle love fest. You know,
Yeah.
not that he doesn't deserve it
No.
or anything like that, but let's go around the room. Paul, we'll start with you and see. What do you have any takeaway?
Well, I agree with you that Phil certainly deserves it to be full time. I think that the Board of Finance, when they did their cuts, didn't realize the impact. I mean, it's one thing to cut,
$1,000 from public health.
No, that's
safety.
it's okay to
No,
cut
never
an
mind.
item, an item that's not personable. But when you start cutting people, they don't realize the impact that's going to have on that individual. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or on the town.
Or on the town. And they didn't realize that he was the only person that got cut.
Yeah.
You know, which is, and he didn't get cut, but
Phil.
cut in half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's the takeaway that I got. And the other thing that I take away is nobody stood up other than one senior, asked a question about what's happening with the rest of the stuff. Are we for 1.5 or do we want more? So we don't have a true picture of what
Right.
how
Okay.
people feel with the budget.
Okay, Kathy, you want to go ahead and give what you thought?
Yeah.
And if anybody has any comments, please, put them in there, and we'll try to get to them.
So, first thing I want to mention is that I got here before Wayne this morning. Just want to put that.
Yeah,
out there.
yeah. Look at that, huh?
I got up for this.
Second thing, I
He
have
went,
to
he went
say
and got the coffee.
he
Come
did.
on.
He did. He tried.
And
He
I was
tried
waiting
using
for a
that.
decaf.
He tried using that as an excuse, but whatever.
Oh, sure. Blame me, right?
Wayne's on his tippy toes.
But first impression as soon as I walked in, because of course I walked in like right as it was starting. So I walked in and the room was full, and it was nice to see that. I wasn't quite sure what to expect with all of that, and there were maybe a couple of empty seats, but for the most part, it was full, and that was
put out extra seats.
It was nice to see that the people that showed up.
There were about 20 extra chairs that got put up.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, there were a couple maybe empty here and there, but it was a decent turnout, better than I expected, so that was good. As far as it certainly was, the Parks and Rec definitely had their supporters there, and I'm happy to see that. To see any group be able to pull together and get their supporters out there. There was one gentleman carrying his baby in a car seat, and he's like, I've never
Bradley.
and he's like, it's the first meeting I've ever been to. I've never done this before, but and he spoke his piece about in support of Phil's position and all of that, and it was nice to see that. It's obvious that position is wanted by the residents that showed up.
Time.
Whatever.
No.
Whatever.
No, keep going.
Start my clock
And
here.
you're gonna start your clock. Wait, 2
I
minutes.
said Bradley, and he's in there, and he goes, "That's me."
Yeah, that was you.
No, it's just
I
not a
thought it was
wall
really
clock. I
sweet.
can't reach that one.
He's got a remote control one.
I thought, similar to what Paul said, there was one woman who got up and was like, yeah, all this talk about the kids and, and the youth, and what about the seniors who are on fixed incomes and that sort of thing, and increases are really going to affect us, which I think everybody is aware and appreciates. And that's the problem, is that we need the increases to keep moving Grizzled forward, but there are people that it's going to impact in a big way. So there's no easy solution to that.
Get a job as a Walmart greeter there, Granny.
But I was really surprised that there was just one person that stood up on it. There were several people that got up to talk, and there was only one that was against, any significant increases. So I thought that was interesting. I guess, and yours cracked when at the end.
Oh,
and put in the $1,000 back into public health and safety and walked out. I was like, that was pretty funny.
I was debating on whether I should do that.
That was great.
I was reading the room.
That was great. And it was streamed, so that was good. I shared it on all platforms, so it's out there. And people have commented, oh, where is it? And I reply right back with the link. So no excuses. I guess that's about it. I mean, I think at this point, if they don't reinstate Phil's position, they're going to be
Jumps at torches and pitchforks.
yeah, they're going to be blasted. So, I mean, I'd like to think that position will be reinstated. My concern is at what cost?
Rich, Mr. Canova.
So I'll agree with Kathy on the senior part. Only one senior got up and spoke. So it doesn't paint the full picture of what they're thinking. But on that part of it, they also don't realize that out of the last 3 years or 4 years, we only had one increase of 0.34.
Something like that.
So we skated through a few years with no increase to begin with, so they had no reason to even question any of that. So if a 1.5 after that amount of time is such a problem, I don't know, you should come to the meetings and speak up some more. As far as Phil goes, I mean, listen, I don't know the guy, but the way everybody spoke about him last night and the way he spoke about himself, when you do the math on that, with what his salary and benefits are probably worth, it would make an impact on the mill rate of 0.045. So if you're at 1.5 now, it's 1.545. It's very minimal. It probably wouldn't change your impact by $1 at the end of the day on your house taxes or car taxes or anything like that. I think it's a no-brainer to keep that guy. pay him, keep
Absolutely.
him on, and keep going. It's just, listen, the guy's doing great things. Everybody heard what was said by the crowd last night. He's a wanted person.
The short guy?
Mr. Lilliputian.
Okay. So, yeah, so this is all good. I agree a lot with what Paul said about impact, because I mentioned this before about making decisions and not looking at the impact. And I think they understand what the impact is now. I will say I told Scott yesterday, I gave him kudos yesterday for following up with Ryan at the meeting on Monday to talk about the programs and how they're going to be impacted. So that what needs to be done. And actually, that should be done beforehand before you make the decisions to cut. But in any case, you talk about cost, talk about revenue. If you cut a person to part-time, that Mike said in his little 10-minute speech last night.
It wasn't 10 minutes.
That
How long was I up there?
He was
really?
only
2 minutes,
I wouldn't
maybe.
even, I barely even, if you went over.
I
Maybe
gave
a
him my
minute.
time too, so it
Yeah,
was good.
I mean, you were not up there that long. There was
we
another
didn't have
gentleman that was
anybody
up there
clocking
much
you,
longer.
So, you know,
I heard it was streamed live on Grizzled Now.
yeah, probably. So
It was
anyway,
because I posted it there.
Oh, shit.
After I posted it to Grizzled News and Notes.
So anyway, when you cut somebody like that and they're looking to bring in some revenue to the town, how much revenue are you going to lose? Is it comparable to his benefits and salary that just got cut? Those figures been worked out and showed to the Board of Finance what they're actually going to lose by cutting that person. And maybe it's going to be more than what that person is going to be cut. So that's the stuff that needs to be researched before we make decisions like that. And I would venture to say that if he was to get cut and probably leave, because he'd probably have to find a job to get benefits. So yeah, there's a lot of that. There was not a lot of. There was one individual, like Kathy said, talked about the impact to the seniors with the tax increases, and that same individual said we really didn't need a new field. Well, let's talk about the new field. The new field is bringing in a lot more tuition students, which is bringing in a lot more revenue for the town, or actually helping with the school budget. So right now they're looking at 11% of the school budget being paid back in because of the field and tuition. And so when you look at that, I believe my wife, who had sent an email to the director of finance to find out what would be the mill rate increase without the field. I think it was 2.5 mil, something like that.
2.4, 2.7. It was
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah, so
It was a lot.
So you'd be looking at a lot more without that field. So, and not to mention that field gets used a lot, a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
I understand the impact that people feel with the field and stuff like that, but we're going to be paying 10 years, $433,000 a year for 10 years.
Mhm.
It just got added this year.
Yeah.
So that was part of the debt increase, along with everything else. There's other things in that debt increase.
Yeah, that field
I have
payment.
one-
That field.
I have a question related to the superintendent got up and said that we expect the revenue coming into the school now is going to be higher than what they predicted.
It's been higher than they've predicted
I know
every.
that. But where I'm going with this, doesn't that?
Shut up, Mike. That's
No, I want to follow.
I didn't even get to speak, so
but
I
I
You're the
want to
moderator.
follow on this subject. But doesn't that money go back into the general fund?
yes.
Correct.
So why, if they expect that to be increased, that's an increase in revenue. Doesn't that more than pay the freaking $35,000 or $40,000 to take care of Phil's salary?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody mentioned that.
No.
It's
It was
almost half of
dropped.
the 600,000.
But nobody mentioned that. The
Mm-mm.
money's covered because they're going to get expected more revenue.
Mhm.
So what's the big friggin' deal?
Mhm.
But nobody brought it up.
No. Mm-mm. No, you're right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a lot of other things that got cut. And I know that the firehouse got cut. Jewett City got cut 15 grand. But like Scott said, and talked about yesterday, if they run short, then they can come back and ask for some more funds for the volunteers to get their stipends if there's more calls than they expect for the year. So I don't know. I know we've had a lot of calls recently in the last week. I just, and what irritates me more than anything, I'm probably going to get lambasted for this, is I'm just hearing what everybody's doing such a great job. Everybody's got a hard job and a great job. And we're sitting here looking at Plainfield building this up and Lisbon building this up and bringing all this revenue in. And I hate to tell you this, and I get told this when I was working for a living. If I'm not doing a good job, I get told I'm not doing a good job. I don't think, and it's not really just the people in now, but for the last 20 years, we have not been doing a good job as a town to get ahead of ourselves and try to minimize the impact of taxes for the residents. We have not been doing a good job. So we need to look at ourselves, inward at ourselves, see what we need to do to fix it.
There's a lot of what it could have, should have.
Right.
So I've said it a bunch of times myself. It's no secret. The infrastructure should have been in 40 years ago. Lisbon Landing should be here in Griswold. It shouldn't be in Lisbon.
Mhm.
And do you think it's because the people that were in control back then didn't want that in their backyard?
I think also there was some personal.
Keep it
There's
rural.
some-
It was the NIMBY thing.
Keep it rural.
And that was it. People think that if you add any kind of commercial development,
There goes your town.
then
I think
our
there were
entire
some
town
people
turns
that
into
had
New York
some
City.
personal
Exactly.
interest in their land in Lisbon, and I think that had a little bit to do with it. That's
Sure.
a totally
Sure.
different show.
Follow the money.
Oh yeah.
Exactly. This is a key example of that.
Mhm.
Well, it's gone. I mean,
Yeah.
Lisbon Landing is done. It's
Well, if you let me finish,
well,
you have chopped me off. You never have shit to say, and now all of a sudden,
I'm gonna pull my pants and leave.
I'm going to get off my stool.
Wayne will have a good seat there.
yeah.
Now shut up.
No, it's not that. It's just
No,
all right. Whatever, Paul. Sit there and pout.
I will.
I'm 80 and I want my
He's allowed to.
yeah.
He's not going fishing.
I know what he's getting at.
As-
It's getting at, it's gone. What are we going to do going forward?
Mhm.
Keep quiet. It's his turn.
No, it's not.
So you brought
I
up a
haven't
point.
even been able to go ahead and give a synopsis on what I thought about the meeting last night. Because why? Because you got chopped in there.
Go ahead.
So Mike brought up a good point last night. And
He's gonna talk for you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
so
That's why he's the
and
program
we've been
director.
Talking about this is how we need to change the way we do business. We need to invest in the town. We need a grant writer. We need a marketer. We need to look down the road. We need to do those things. Right now, we don't have money for a grant writer. I got
May I speak?
kibosh.
May I speak?
Or
Raise your hand. Raise your hand.
Or an
Okay,
assessor.
Paul.
Or an assessor. for that
Mr.
matter.
Lack. I said that. I said that.
Yeah.
We got to get off this bullshit. When we have a business that comes in here and wants to put a business in here, you can't have people standing up and bitching because it's going to make a little bit of noise in my backyard,
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Or it's going to be a little smell. If
Mhm.
you want to have stuff done in this freaking town, then get off your ass and support these people that come in.
That's it. Show's over.
That's it.
Nailed it.
Good night, everybody.
Now
You
you,
did.
can all go
That's
egg
perfect,
Paul's
yeah.
house.
Yeah, that's it. I mean,
He's right.
But,
Yeah.
but he's right.
I do want to go ahead and Scott Davis. Hey, Scott. Good morning. This is directed you, Paul.
uh-oh.
Paul, the increase in tuition revenue was not known when we took a first pass at the budget. With the extra $250,000 announced last night, that extra revenue will certainly be considered and have a positive impact when taking a second look at the budget, like maybe $2,000 for public health and safety. Yes.
So I got a question for you, Scott.
Phil Michelle gets a
not
raise.
talking
Phil
about-
Michelle gets a raise.
I
Yes.
don't think we're talking about the increase in tuition for next year. We're talking about the $295,000
Oh, from this year?
from this year.
That was over.
That's coming back.
Yeah, what's going on? What's happening with that?
So
And
what's
that'll
that
be
going to
going
go
to
towards? Is that
what-
going to go in the general fund?
It always
We
goes
use that
the
to
general
cover some
fund.
of these issues that were cut that would make the town grow better.
But the
Move
good
forward.
part of all of that is, like it was mentioned last night, is at least that money stays here. It doesn't go to the state
Yeah, that,
and get
those-
squirreled away in Waterbury
Yeah.
or New Haven or something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
our
woman-
tax
that
dollars-
woman
our
made a
tax
very good point.
dollars
That was Mrs. Merrill.
Stay
there that
right,
talked
stay
about
right
that.
here in town, and it's to benefit for whatever they do
Mhm.
with it in the town, not statewide. So,
Right.
whether it's 200,000 or 600,000, it's staying here.
You know, we wouldn't even be talking about this if they wouldn't have done this 0% over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
because
Such a mistake.
that's the
That's
first
what I
thing I
said.
said last night was that it was a huge mistake. Why?
Mhm,
Because my feeling is, and come on, we all know a lot of this is political.
mhm.
You know, we want to do a one and done. We want to,
Sure.
give something to. Here you go, Mr. Canova. Take a look at this. Isn't it great? Vote yes.
Mhm,
Right? Instead of looking at what's in the thing,
mhm.
everybody looks and goes, 0%. All right, let's
Yeah,
go. Let's
right.
go. I like that.
Yeah, very short-sighted.
Exactly.
Well, and if
Was
they
it- was
did,
it
if
0% over 2 years or just 1 year?
It
No,
was
it was-
last
no, it
year.
It was last year and the year before. There were
two out of three or
flat.
something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Was it 2 years?
Oh, yeah.
two
But
out of
then-
three, I
3
think.
years
Yeah.
ago,
And
it
then
was
this year,
1.34.
we're at 1.5.
Mhm.
Oh,
Right?
okay.
That's
I
the one going in. The
Right,
the
yeah.
new the
Yeah, 'cause
24-25
I- last
budget.
year was, but I didn't realize the year before.
And then
So
I think
Scott
the year
said
before that was only 0.3.
yesterday,
So it's minimal. Yeah.
and we talked about it. And we agreed that we should be looking at probably 0.6 to 0.7.
He said that
Every
right
year,
here in this
every
studio.
year. That
Every
should
year.
be
Exactly.
to
If they did
maintain-
0.5 every year for the
Mhm.
last 2 or 3 years, let's face it, every year that 0.5 gets compounded as you put another 0.5.
That's
You
right.
could have done 3 years of 0.5, and it would have people would not have even felt that
Exactly.
And here we would be-
exactly.
Mhm.
flush or above. And just listen, do
Mhm.
another 0.5. Just keep it
Again,
going.
that's what I said. I said
Yep.
we would be exactly where we are now. Now the perception is, oh, we're going up 1.5 mil.
Like,
Whoa,
oh,
holy
shit. Look in the
You know.
rearview mirror. We've had nothing.
Exactly.
But people forget
Exactly.
that.
It's not realistic.
No.
It's not.
And I hope at this point a lesson has been learned in doing the zero and the very low mill increases. I hope that's
Has it?
been that's what I'm saying. I hope that lesson has been learned and we don't ever see that again.
What are we doing this year?
Chasing the hook. No.
Well, now we have to play makeup. So now I mean, we could probably use a 3 mil increase this year, really, to really
Well,
get us caught up.
I'm-
but it's almost
why
like now
don't-
they got to
I
split
think
that
1
across a
3/4
few.
to 2 mil.
I agree.
Why don't we take that $150,000
Agreed.
out of the picture and make it a mill rate increase
Yep.
so we don't keep
That's
kicking
what I
that,
was getting
kicking
at.
that can down the
Yes.
road, right?
That's
Yeah,
what I was
that's-
getting at. Another
that's another-
150,000.
Get it out of there.
Yeah, that's another thing we got to
Get it out of there and
don't
stop that
stop
mess.
doing that.
Yep.
Do you remember the old Midas commercial? Midas muffler.
Okay.
Back from the 70s. Maybe before your time, Kathy.
I was
You-
still growing at that time.
it was about
I
price.
think he was fully grown at birth.
It's like you kind of got to go ahead and get things fixed now. And you get the guy at the end going, well, you can pay me now
Maybe later.
or you can pay me later.
Yep.
Mhm.
Either way, you're paying, right?
Right.
This is the same situation.
Nothing
If you
different.
pay it now, it's going to be cheaper than later.
Of course.
You know,
Yeah,
of course.
prices aren't going down.
The other thing we should probably look at is to look to see how you could help out the senior group in the town. What could you do to help them as far as taxes go?
Yep.
Because a lot of them are.
A lot of places don't tax
I
seniors.
know a lot of So how can you do something?
You get to a
help
certain
them?
age and they cut your taxes in half, and then
So it doesn't
you live longer
impact
that and they
them
drop
as
them more.
bad because they don't have any income.
Mhm.
Well, I believe the individual that spoke last night, she's paying borough taxes and Griswold taxes.
Mm.
The borough taxes only went up 0.01.
What,
Yeah,
what is
that's
what is
really
it though?
nothing.
Total now, the borough tax. I don't even know.
I mean,
Oh God,
Two,
three.
three.
I think it just went from like 2.98 to like 2.99 or something like that. It's very. We barely moved it.
But
Right,
you
right.
pay more than a town.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think there's the senior or just fixed income folks. I feel for them. I really do. But we
What do you do
can't
then?
hold everything back because of that.
No.
It's such a sticky situation and with no easy solutions,
what
unfortunately.
we're doing.
Right. And I mean, and I feel bad because it's like, well, even if they say, oh, I can't live here anymore, it's too expensive. Everywhere else around us is even higher.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's not going to help either. So I don't know what to do. I don't know if we could put a program in place where at a certain age or a certain income limit, their taxes, or maybe they don't pay, the full taxes, maybe they pay half the taxes. And then I understand the rest of it would have to be absorbed by
It'd have to
everyone
get
else.
picked up somewhere
It'd
else.
have to be picked up by everybody else. So then those taxes would go up, and there's no easy solution to
Or they're
that.
frozen.
I don't. What's that?
Or the taxes are frozen.
Yeah, something like that. I
Because
don't know.
that way, if you get an increase,
Yeah,
they're frozen.
it's still that's an option too. I don't know how something like that is implemented or done, but I mean, I would be in support of that. You know, I would have no problem with that. I know that would mean our taxes would go up, but
think about what services are seniors really getting other than the seniors center? Think about it. What are they getting?
Nothing.
Well, they got transportation, from the senior center.
yeah, the senior center, the
That's-
transportation.
I mean,
that's
what else are they
part of the
getting?
senior center.
Mhm.
A lot of them are renters. They live in these low cost senior housings.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of that is by choice too.
True.
Yeah.
They don't want their houses anymore. They're
Because they can't
any kind of big
Can't
albatross.
afford them.
Either they can't afford it, or it's just too much
It's
space.
just, right. They just don't.
Somebody
it's
passed
just
away,
them.
unfortunately,
Or you got-
and I don't
yeah.
want this big house
Upstairs,
anymore.
Downstairs. all
Yeah.
that kind of
Exactly.
thing, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, they don't need a big house anymore. It's just them. You
Yeah,
know,
it's
Well,
not
I bet-
always
I bet if you-
because
I bet if you take a poll, though, it's a lot of them can't afford it.
probably.
I mean,
Yeah,
if they have a pension,
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
peanuts.
Yeah.
And, that
And
way
their Social
there-
Security is
Yeah,
Of
peanuts.
course.
And
Yeah.
that way, if the taxes go up, you're impacting the lower income individuals.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
You're actually impacting the people who actually use the services.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So, so they should pay.
And they also, I mean, there's also disabled folks too. It's
That's
not, it's
true.
not just the elderly, but the disabled that are also
Yeah.
on fixed income that, maybe they can't get to these meetings. They
Correct.
can't, that sort of thing. And they have kids and, whatever. I met someone recently who was disabled, but she's finding other forms of income. She's on TikTok reviewing things and making videos. And she's like, I started back in October making a couple $100 a month. She's like, I'm making almost $1,000 a month now doing this.
Wow.
So there are avenues
Yeah.
for people to try to supplement that are able to, but there's no easy solution, unfortunately. But I mean, I kind of like the idea of capping it, and capping their taxes and leaving it at that. And the rest of us may have to pick up a little bit here and there. And
no cap.
I'm okay with that. But
Thank you,
I don't know
Kathy,
what
for
everyone
paying
else
for
would
my
pay.
taxes. No.
Yeah.
I mean, you would.
I'm always short every year when I come up to pay my
You're
taxes.
just short.
That runs in your life, right? You're short.
Yeah, I mean, you're to that age that don't laugh, Canova. Because
Okay.
but it's true. but
3
what-
of the 5 of us in this room are right there.
That's right.
I know.
So
So, all right. So, is there anything else you want to talk about as far as the senior population is concerned? Because I'm one of those folks that it's like, okay, they've paved the way,
They did pay.
and
Mhm.
right, for what
Yeah,
we have
yeah,
here.
Yeah, they put in their time, they put in their money. I
Right.
get all
And I
that,
think that if you were to freeze or cut the taxes in half for seniors, that would have to come with you lived in town for a certain number of years. Because listen, when the word
Okay.
spreads, you're going to have people moving
In
into
flux,
town
yeah.
that
Absolutely.
never lived
Mhm.
here, and they're going to benefit from day one.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Never paid a dime.
Yeah, there would
So
have to be
there's,
some
10,
stipulations.
15, 20 years, whatever it is that,
Mhm.
you've paid a fair amount of taxes to earn this benefit.
My Rich Wassler impression. I'm sweating here.
My God, Canova's naked.
What? I missed it?
Oh, hey! Barbara the
what?
mail lady, Barbara the mail lady, Barbara the. Come here, Barbara.
See, they're
There's
staying at ATM Cross Street.
there what?
There's what?
They're
Oh.
removing the ATM Cross Street.
Oh.
Oh.
That's the camera today.
Want to say hey?
Say, hey, it's
It's Barb.
Barbara the mail lady, Barbara the mail lady.
Was this a
Thank you,
video?
Barbara.
Was this a video from Pornhub?
I know.
Oh.
I know. I
Like the
have
blow-up
been
doll.
working.
Maybe.
See ya.
Thanks, Barb. Oh, I get my.
cool.
Mike got his blow up doll.
Oh, Jesus.
Or is that an
Or maybe
inflatable
they're the
booster
fur.
seat for
They
me?
might be the furry handcuffs.
Anyway,
It's the one Rich asked for.
so we got some
Your
comments.
husband, Rich.
Got some comments
Do you-
on here.
Do you
that,
think he'd want furry ones? He'd probably just want the metal
Let's
ones.
see.
right?
We got Scott Davis said, "Yeah, my mistake. You will." Yes, that will go into the general fund. He's talking about the 295 that's coming
School,
back. I think it's.
I
like
already
297.
commented on that,
Did you?
dude. Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see. Carol says, "Yeah, don't tax me. I'm okay." That was Carol.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Comment of the day, Brad. Hey, Barbara.
Hey,
Yeah.
Barbara. She is so
She's
cool.
gone.
She's great.
Oh, I love Barbara. Oh, go, no, hey, don't get me any wrong. Took the shirt off. Woo, you're ready to
Well,
go.
you're opening up your fuzzy handcuffs, so somebody
Yeah.
had to take
If
over.
you, I'm going to show you what they actually are.
Wayne goes to the gym too.
Yeah,
Showing his guns.
I'm going to tell you right now.
I pick things up, I put things down.
I'm
and
Wayne.
and my back hurts. And I go see Jenny.
Oh yeah.
Dr. Jenny, yeah.
Yep.
In fact, I did that with my son-in-law yesterday, clearing the deck off.
The one thing I do want to mention that really kind of it irked me a little bit, but the woman that had stood up and talked about, you know, what about the seniors and the taxes and all of that, and her final comment
Who's a very nice lady.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
known her
by
for
the way.
years.
Yeah,
I've known her for
I don't
years.
know
Yep.
her, and I was expecting more. Honestly, more people.
I don't
to
even
get up
wanna
and
know
talk
what them
like
are.
that.
I'll tell you what they are when you go ahead. Do you want me to tell you what they are?
I know.
One,
What are they?
I know what they are.
Oh.
Tumblers, right?
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
they're tops, caps to
they're
them.
tumbler caps.
Hmm. And they're what are they? Cowboy hats.
These are pink cowboy hats. I got 24 of them because they sold out of them.
That's all right.
So the thing that irritated me though was that she spoke her piece about the increase in taxes and everything, which is understandable. But at the end, she goes, "And we didn't need a $3 million football field," and walked off.
And we need to put $1,000 back in public health and safety.
Oh, but that comment about the field
Mm,
after you
Listen,
have
that's
a
water over the
$13
dam. Let it go.
million
Yeah.
let it go.
But after you had a $13 million senior center built, you're gonna bitch about a $3 million field for the senior or 8 million. What was
It
it?
was
Not
8.3,
8
I
million.
think.
Sorry,
8
my bad.
million,
My
yeah.
bad.
Yep.
8 million, but still, it's like, so you're gonna bitch about a $3 million field when you guys got an $8 million Taj
but
Mahal
you-
sitting up
But
on
you
the
gotta
hill.
remember where they're coming from. The problem is that a lot of seniors, when they were doing that, a lot of the people, the younger people, were bitching at the seniors.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And that's what the problem was,
Mhm.
because they caused such a problem
No.
with the senior centers. The seniors
Sweating
came back and got on the field.
Well,
Yeah.
the
That was
problem.
Oh, there's a divide there.
Oh, of
That's
course,
right. And
there
that's why they
definitely
came
is,
back
and
after.
it showed definitely
Yep.
last night. But I think the issue with that though is that there was hope that the community could use the senior center, during the planning stages and all of that, and then that was quickly shot down.
Mhm.
Whereas the field can be used by the entire community. They're not being told, no, you can't use
Yeah.
this. It's only for us, and that's it. Get off our field.
But that's-
Anybody can use it.
But that wasn't the reason for it. It was the way that the grants were written. So it was not identified as a community center.
Right. And that was the problem.
That
but
was
there,
the problem.
but there could have been grants written to allow
Absolutely.
for the community
But
to
that's
use
the
it.
way it was written,
Right.
so they can't use it.
So
as
it was
a-
excluded.
Yeah,
So
who-
it excluded.
Who designed that,
right.
right?
And it
Well-
excluded the community
That's right.
at large and only
Yeah.
left it to the seniors,
But
which,
when you- but when you-
it's fine.
When
It's
the
over and done
community
with.
at
It's
large is
done.
paying for it.
Right.
So when
exactly.
you turn 55 next year, you can join.
Screw you.
We're a little footloose and fancy free today, aren't we?
So
But I
Kathy,
think that's
Kathy
what
brings
she
up a
was
good
Yeah.
point.
No, I'm
Is
sure.
Oh, he said, "Screw you! I'm just going to take over
I'm
now."
gonna take over.
He gets
So
closer
Kathy
to the
brings up a good
microphone.
point about but if you look at the old senior center, the size of it, what it was,
Deplorable.
it
Yeah.
did need
It-
to move into a bigger facility, and we're already seeing some discussion stuff like that. Like for emergency operations center, where's that going to go?
You know,
Say it, Tina. We're going to disagree, but that is a perfect place for it to be. There's also,
Oh.
and we all talk about the school stuff like that. Where did we have the meeting last night?
Hmm.
Yeah.
In the middle school, because the town hall's not big enough. The senior center would be big enough.
Mhm.
And
you could do Tears for Fears concert there.
yeah. And the thing, even though it was echoing when we did have the one Board of Finance, because we use the OWL, but if you wire things for sound, if you update everything, you could do streaming from anywhere.
Mhm.
And so anyway,
He's such a mogul on this shit now. All of a sudden,
so anyway, and I agree with, we got a huge $8 million building up there that could be utilized a lot more than it is now. And even if you put an EOC up there, what are you going to use it? Maybe 2% of the time?
If that, yeah.
If
No,
that-
I think it's basically could be used as a warming center. Or a
Yeah,
cooling
you
center.
can use it for that.
Yeah.
We're talking about shipping our people up the playing field and
that's
using
not,
theirs,
That's not
Well,
necessarily.
now it is because
That's-
they got
that's
their
different.
generators.
Because you
It's a
still
mo-
need your local shelter.
You still
Yeah, you do.
need your local shelter because the Plainfield one will not open unless there's a major catastrophe.
And the local shelters can't handle more than 72.
And we're going to
hours.
use the fire department basement. Really? And where's the fire department going to be more likely? Out taking care of the emergency.
Oh, that's true.
Mhm.
I don't disagree.
And who's going to watch the
Yeah.
people in the fire department?
Mhm.
So it's
It's
that's a
being worked
topic
on.
that's being worked on.
Brad, it's more like 8 million for the senior center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, it was all of 8 million.
Well, let's get over that. That's
Yeah,
one
it's
more
gone.
damn-
Well, and that's what
Right.
that's what irked me was like, why even bring it up?
Yep.
Why talk about like, oh, taxes for the seniors and we're on a fixed income? Fair, yep, you're right. And then to end with, we didn't need a $3 million field and walk off.
And that's
there
too
was
late
no
too.
need for that.
It's too late too.
Right,
It's already
there's-
over the dam.
Why
Gone.
would you? Why would you
Yeah.
even bring that up at this point? You know,
I
we
remember-
you know the argument could be we didn't need your senior center. I mean, why even start that and open up that can of worms when it's already over and done with?
It's over and done
That
with.
that
yeah.
did not that last statement as a dig didn't help anything and didn't amount
And
to anything.
I'll bet she doesn't even go to the senior center.
Yeah, who knows?
I'll
I
bet
don't.
she
Yeah,
doesn't.
I don't know.
And I'll bet nobody's look. You know, some of these people that make these comments didn't actually go look at the field and the track before it was replaced.
Right.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was in horrible condition.
Yep.
So
Just like the senior center
and,
was,
and
you
just
know,
like the
they-
roof, I
they
remember
both
the roof
needed
for
to be
the
done.
high school was a big topic. I don't know when that was. It was like
That was
20
a
years
while
ago?
Yeah.
I think we're
something like
still paying
that, and that was like going to cost a lot of money. And I went to that meeting, and I'm in the cafeteria looking at plastic bags covering the TVs, stains on the ceiling tiles because the roof's leaking. This is the condition we want our high school in, so we can bring in more students. No, you got to spend the money to fix the roof.
Mhm.
You know, things need to be fixed.
If you let it keep going, it's going to cost you more for the damage it's going to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And investing in the town doesn't seem to be a natural way of doing business here. It's all very reactionary. And not
It's new money.
proactive.
Paul, how many times we've talked about it? New money, old money. New money, old money. You
But
got
I think the scales are starting to.
you got the old money who's like they're trying to hold on for dear life. Then you got the new money coming in going, we're going to get you,
Mhm.
and they're more and more prominent. You're right. You're right. The old money are like, you look at it like a cartoon and it's like they're falling off the cliff like Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
But and they're holding on because they don't want to lose that control.
Mhm.
But eventually they will. And I think you got to give it another 10 years. And I think we have to, that's one of the things that we have to realize right now
Mhm.
is that you have to know that the direction that we're going, that's a town,
Mhm.
and just let it go. Just let it go. And as far as Paul, I got to be honest, you know how I feel about you personally. Okay. It's time to let somebody else. It's time to let somebody else. And what I mean by that is, and this is, we're talking about you, and we're going to caveat off of you, by saying, oh, good job, good job, good job, good job. I think the EDC is fine, but I think we need new blood in there. I think it is
Absolutely.
time,
I agree with that.
if honestly, if the old board, and I don't mean old as in age, I meant old as in the people that are in there now, want to work, or I think if they wanted to consult or something, a new board, but I really honestly think it's time for new blood to get on to economic development. And why?
New views, new opinions.
Exactly. The reason why I say this is because if you have, let's say we are a board, or we are a board of directors for ABC Widgets, right? And then right at the end of the table is the CEO of the company, and their sales have been flat for 2 years, and their profits are down. And now the third year's come around. Still, nothing's happening. It's still the same. What do you think we do as a board? We're looking to find somebody else
Mhm.
that maybe would be a better fit for a changing economy. And then with the changing economy, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You need to, it happens all the time. It happens all the time in business. And I think it's time. You know how much I respect Jim Barney.
Mhm.
All right. And then there's Tom. I think it pains me to say that to you because I think I don't want you to take it personal because it's not.
He's over here. I'm getting ready to give him a
No.
tissue.
Yeah.
He's going to dry his
I
tears.
think it
There is one new person that just came out. As the
needs to be all new.
I wouldn't say all. I wouldn't say everybody. But there definitely needs to be some new ideas and things like
Exactly.
that. But I think part of it too, though, is that as a town, do we have a vision, a 10-year vision, a plan, a something that these EDC folks
shaking
are
his head.
working toward?
We
I mean,
have
so
a
how-
capital. The only thing I saw looking for was capital.
So
was
and
it.
that so that's part of the problem. So EDC is working essentially blind. What's their goal?
Train somebody to
What's
do
the
your job.
goal? What's the vision? What's the like? What are you working toward? Or is it just willy nilly?
This
like,
is
oh,
the
this
old
guy
money
that-
versus the new money.
Right, and that's the
It-
problem.
yeah,
There's no goal that they're trying to that I know of that's trying to
Right.
be attained. It's just, oh yeah, bring in business, and then business comes, and we hear about it, and there's some talk about it, and then all of a sudden we don't hear anything back, and it's, oh, we haven't heard anything.
Mm.
And-
Well, that's a problem.
We need to chase
What's
it.
the vision?
Exactly.
What are we trying to get at?
Starts at the town hall.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, that's
That's
what I'm saying. The
it.
town has to have.
The town
Some sort
hall
of
does
goals
it.
and
It starts
vision.
at the planning. It goes to the selectmen.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing comes in unless it goes to them first. And how much land do we have available in town?
I mean, not a lot.
How much usable land
Right.
with infrastructure? That's
Yeah.
So,
what's
Not
been
a lot.
pushed
if they
lately.
We're going to end up like
Now
Plainfield,
201's on the back burner.
It ain't going to happen. We're not going to be a Plainfield. We have-
I don't think we would ever. Why would we want to be?
well, I'm just saying.
I think we're
not
ju-
going to be a Plainfield.
We're very jealous
Oh
because
yeah, we're jealous
have-
of Plainfield. We're jealous of Lisbon.
okay, so why? See, we don't have. You can't turn the lights on if you don't have the light switch there,
I know.
right?
That's what the infrastructure is.
I,
for.
I know, and it's about effing time.
Well, it's going
Well,
in. We'll
even
see
if you
what
look at
happens.
Lisbon, outside of Lisbon Landing and that, what have they done?
They got nothing.
Starbucks.
But
Yeah.
that's and so and but that's a good point though, because a lot of people that you hear, well, we don't want to turn it into like a metropolitan. We don't want it to be a city. We want it to keep that small hometown farm feel. But we
So
can
does Lisbon.
have
They did.
both, right? And that's what I said. That they have Lisbon Landing, but then you go over to 169. It's still the same quiet. Like it's you can have both. We can throw stuff on the 395 corridor. We're not looking to put an IKEA on Rickstown Road. We're looking to
true.
put stuff near 395 that's easily accessible. That and obviously we need the infrastructure and all that. But I mean, you can have both. You can.
Well,
You
And
can
Lisbon must have something because look at that fire department they're building. I'm sure there's grants involved with that. I have no
Oh, yeah.
doubt about it at all.
Yeah.
But there you go.
So let's get a grant writer.
Who wrote the grant? There you go. Let's start there. And I'm sure there's town money going into that. That's a big building. I drove by
It's
it the other day. It's like,
huge.
oh my God.
It
No.
was huge. And Plainfield's going to be putting they're getting a new one too, new firehouse.
Yeah.
And it's going to be even bigger than that one, bigger than
And
Lisbon's.
then they're fighting to put a boiler in over in Griswold.
Yeah.
Look, I don't claim to be smart or smarter than anybody else because I really don't think I am all that smart
Oh,
at
we know
all.
that, Mike.
We don't
That's
either.
okay.
We agree with you.
Well, you know what? I'm with you. But there's a lot of things that are other towns that do that for some reason we're refusing to do.
Yeah. We're
Big difference between can't and won't.
Smart and common sense are two different things.
Yeah.
I don't.
Do you blame that on this administration?
No.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Because I'm very proud of the fact that we have a first selectman right now and said, okay, screw you. We're getting the shovels in the ground,
Mhm.
and we're not waiting anymore. That was the first thing, one of the first things she did.
Mhm.
God bless you, Tina.
Yeah. Which
So,
should
I
be
mean-
happening soon. I think
Exactly.
She said,
I was
I
at
want to say.
the meeting the other day. I think, they're waiting on permits.
Yep.
Still waiting on permits because they had that
The
conversation.
wheels are rolling
Right.
at
Yeah.
least,
Like, I
They
mean,
had, they had that conversation with the engineers yesterday on a Zoom in the afternoon. And I think they're talking like the end of May now
That's
before.
right. Yep. That's what I had heard. End of May.
Memorial
Yep,
Day
yep,
weekend, yeah.
yep. So I mean, we're
It was
almost
supposed to
there. We're
start
getting
earlier,
close.
but permits are holding it up.
Of course.
And the other thing, and here it is, and this is my last point. You all can take care of it to this. Say goodbye to Heritage Village. That's a bunch of bullshit.
I think so.
It's bullshit, 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 bullshit. 10 years, 8 to 10 years now, they've been saying, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Data centers want to come in. Oh, we're going to wait for you to put in the infrastructure so we don't have to. Why? Because we don't have any money.
Yeah.
They don't have any money. Yeah, they're okay. So you know what? Oh, I got a great idea. Let's bring in a YMCA. Let's not put a pool in it.
No, that
Why
was
would we want to do that? Because
stupid.
people might use it. Okay, guess what? People, town, no taxes. Whoa,
Yeah.
let's do that.
Right. Yeah. how's that going to help?
That meeting the other day was quite interesting when they did the Zoom meeting with the
It's time to cut the umbilical cord.
the developers and
For Heritage River?
and I got to tell you what, I walked out of
I
that
missed that.
meeting shaking my head that I have my doubts about that project. I really do.
It's changed so.
Well, they don't have any money.
much.
They
They don't have
haven't-
the
They
money.
haven't had it. They haven't had
Right,
it. So, I
right.
mean, that
and they're not
doesn't
even
change
going
anything.
after it. And they're not even
Well, they
looking
said
for
they
money.
can't go after it until the infrastructure's in.
Yeah, so you put it back on the town, right?
So, so that's fine though, because then now we can put a Costco there. Or an IKEA.
Costco would be nice.
Or something like that.
I've heard
something
IKEA more
like
than
that.
once. These are all dream,
Of course, but IKEA,
wish
what's
list
the nearest
stuff.
Or maybe
IKEA is
a
New
nice
Haven.
grocery
Haven,
store,
yeah.
a Market Basket, something like that. You know, or
Court-
Taco Bell for Kathy.
Yeah, Taco Bell.
Oh, I could deal with that.
With the Cantina, they serve alcohol.
Yeah,
You
right.
can get a margarita.
What?
There are Taco Bells that called Taco Bell Cantina that serve
Holy shit.
alcohol. Yeah.
All right, so I want to know, and I don't know this because, like I said, I don't claim to be smart. Court Kinney puts POCD. What does that mean?
In what context? That was it?
All in caps. POCD.
Point of contact?
Nope, that's POC.
Would
POC.
D be for development? What would tie in with that?
POCD. I should know this. I feel like I should know this. And then he's gonna say it, and we're all
Let's give
gonna
him
be
a
like,
few
"Duh."
minutes.
I know. I that's why I kind of went like this
Yeah,
to him. I said, "What's that?"
I
And
keep
I
thinking person of, but I don't think it's public off. All right, Court. What is it? POCD.
Pigging out, country dumpling.
Seriously, or did you come up with that?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Oh, because I'm like,
I'm getting
I
hungry.
was like, that didn't sound like something. Court
Getting
would say.
hungry. Just had a jelly donut.
I know it. With powder on it.
But I guess I got to bring three
Talk
next
about
time.
calling
That's
them
an
out.
hors d'oeuvre.
It's an appetizer.
God,
Oh my god.
you saw what I ate yesterday. That was good.
Yeah.
Charlene's.
Did
Oh
see
my
what
god,
you-
that was so good.
I don't think
Had that
Costco
sausage
would put
sitting
another
with
one
you.
so
Plan
close.
of
Wow.
They're not like that.
conservation and development.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thank
yeah.
you, Court.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
A plan?
I think IKEA would be good
I think we need to
because
nominate
it's cheap.
Portland Kinney,
People around here.
the
fits
all-knowing,
demographic for
all-seeing-
Yeah, what's the closest
furniture.
one in like New
New
Haven or
Haven.
something, right?
leader of Griswold,
Mhm,
because the man he's very smart.
mhm.
You have
And it's right off the highway.
Yeah.
Perfect.
plan of conservation and development.
So, do we have one of those? Is that what he's saying? We have one. We need one.
I'm assuming maybe Court. You know, I mean, you could answer that. I'm
What-
not even going to.
I'm
I'm
wondering,
thinking
like,
maybe
what?
we need one. I don't know, but
No.
because I've never even heard the term, so I'm going to assume that
Plan
we
of
need one.
conservation and development. I mean, so to me, that would be, I guess, what I was speaking to earlier, was some kind of like development plan, vision, something along those lines.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we have one, if we need one. If we have one, has it been looked at in the last 10, 20 years? You know, I mean, is it reviewed annually? I don't know. I would love to be able to
I'm
look
sure
something
there
like
are
that up.
plans out there, but when Skulchek was in, we started to work on a 5, 10, and 20-year plan.
Mhm.
I remember working in the town hall, stickers on the wall where we were going to move different things around. And then after he left,
That was
I
the end
still
of
had
it.
some of the spreadsheets, and he said, "That's it, done." It never went through.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent all. It was actually Jim Barney, myself, and somebody, and I think somebody from the borough.
Yeah.
We were working on these stickers because you could pull them
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Be interested.
We're changing the whole administration around.
Be interested to find out why that got stopped.
And not only
I
that,
think he had
all-
different ideas where he was going.
and when the new administration just didn't continue it. But all of those types of plans, if there is a plan, I would expect it to be on the
This
website.
is every 10 years. It has to be updated. Next update is 2027.
so there
So
must be
3 years
something-
away.
There must
So-
be something out
So
there.
where is that?
don't
So
know.
I would hope it's on the website because
I
it should be. It should be available. I would think
Okay.
to everybody.
don't.
I'd have to go digging for it.
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I've never heard of it, but that doesn't mean it's not there.
Well,
So-
the conservation one might be there, but
So I'm wondering who authors that, who has input into it. Is it just is it P&Z?
I
Is
would
it the
think so.
planner?
Right.
Is it who like?
isn't there a conservation group in town?
I don't know. I know there's like wetlands,
Inland
like that
There's the
one.
Aquifer Protection Agency. which doesn't mean
That's what I'm wondering if there's
Ever.
different groups that
Probably so.
that work on this
I
plan.
don't think
pond
it-
weed
I don't
committee.
think there's a town plan. Look at the town
Right.
and make a plan of where the town wants to be.
And how to get there
And how to get there.
Mhm. And that's what we need. Because otherwise we're going blindly and you're not going to
Yeah.
accomplish anything
I
that
mean,
way.
we were moving departments around to different spots just to put them into different categories. That's what we were doing when we started this plan, because we wanted to shake the whole thing up.
And nobody ever likes doing that because that's change. And
Well,
we don't want to change
Yeah.
anything.
That's the other problem in this town is nobody likes change.
Mhm.
Everybody, it's
Complacency.
it works
Apathy.
this way, so let's keep it that way.
It's never been done before,
And that's the problem.
and that's what I hear a lot. Never had to do that before.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and finish things up in a minute. We just want to go ahead and play some messages from our supporters here at SNSN. We appreciate them very, very much because they're the ones that keep us doing this, and also, just trying to get information out to residents of Griswold and surrounding areas, as well as our sports broadcasts and streaming the games there. So we'll be back in a minute right here on SNSN.
Dentist. In a word, yes, especially if that dentist is Dr. Katzoff and the staff at Griswold Dental Associates. They follow all the latest safety protocols while doing what they do best, taking care of you. From preventive to restorative, your dental care couldn't be in better hands. To schedule your appointment, call Griswold Dental Associates today, 860-376-2626. That's 860-376-2626.
City Savings Bank's commitment to helping local businesses fuel growth was recognized by the Small Business Administration and readers of the Commercial Record. We invite you to put our winning commercial lending team to work for your business. Because when local businesses succeed, we all win. To learn more, visit jcsbank.com. Jewett City Savings Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
New year, same problem. These insurance prices always seem to be on the rise. Is it simply the company you're with, or is there more you can be doing to manage your insurance cost? Call the Burns Agency today and let our qualified staff walk you through coverage options, eligible discounts, and other cost savings. You can reach us at burnsagency.com, by phone, or better yet, stop by our convenient locations in Norwich and Dayville. The Burns Agency, proudly serving Eastern Connecticut since 1932.
Why are we getting killed like this?
Kyle's not here. Got caught drinking beer in the park a couple of nights ago.
Really?
Yeah, 0 tolerance. He's out for the season.
Harsh.
Hey, he knew not to drink. We've made that clear to all of our kids, right?
No, not really.
Bill, if we don't tell them what we expect and why they shouldn't drink, how are they going to know?
Talk. They hear you. For more information, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
All right, we are back, and I appreciate the people that hung with us during that commercial message break, and the people that left. Well, bye.
See ya.
Yeah, thanks for supporting.
So, Court, I did. Find,
I'm not done.
Oh, sorry.
Hold on.
Sorry.
I
Go ahead.
got more stuff here.
Go for it.
I didn't mean to say it like
you're
that.
good.
Oh, I would mean it if I said it to Paul.
Paul, only Paul.
Yeah. P7 Construction LLC. Thank you very much for supporting us, as well as Capital Property Group here in Griswold, but they're kind of everywhere if you think about it. Dean's Corner Diner on Main Street, Jewett City. TNT tumblers and teas. Yeah, I pay for my own ads. How do you like that? You need a custom. Is it time for second breakfast, Mr. Hobbit?
I'm not the one crying about only one donut.
Plainfield. You got me. Plainfield Family Chiropractic. Talk about straightening Wayne's ass out. There it is.
Good luck with that.
Dr. Jenny.
My wife's been trying for 40 years. Ain't working.
They're on Railroad Avenue in Plainfield. Highway campers. Did you know they used to sell boats?
No.
Used to be highway campers and boats.
No
they
kidding.
did that for about, I don't know, maybe a
I remember
decade.
seeing boats in there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was back when Ed Riley.
Ed Riley. Yep.
Yeah, him and Doris were
Yep.
running, and they've since passed on.
Yep.
Um,
My parents bought a camper out there years ago.
Yeah.
Good people to deal with.
and yeah, they've been there. They've been there since 1967. So
Sure.
their thought is home is where you park it. So look, my bank statement is available. All right.
You owe the bank.
I just made a payment on Afterpay. Holy crap! I have new mail messages. MALE. Sorry. Well, just look at some.
We
of the
got
pic-
proof.
We got proof.
We got proof.
Let's see who else we got here. Rubino's Full Circle. Oh my God, delicious burgers. That's all I got to say about that. And matter of fact, that's Paul Ash will go there and do his acrobatic imitation.
Right.
So anyway, I will let Paul talk about that if he
You
wants
did
to
not
at some
stick
point.
the landing, right?
Woo! And the West German judge, what a bitch. East German judge. I mean, they're always the worst. But what bushy eyebrows. And Uncle Cranky's Cafe under ownership with Morgan and Killian, who they didn't just walk in and take it over. They've been working there for many, many years, and they bought the restaurant. And I think, and I honestly feel this, and this is not a commercial, I think they have turned and made better strides in there.
Crankies?
Absolutely.
I want to try their brunch.
Absolutely.
I hear great things.
And the reason why I think they got rid of the pool table, and I think that was one of the best things they ever did.
I don't even remember.
The Wazzles and the Malins need to go have brunch.
Yeah.
Crankies.
Yeah, nobody else can go. Just so I want to thank Wayne Malin Wasilick for coming in today, and Kathy Wasilick Malin, and then there's Paul and Rich. Apparently, you and I are a thing, Rich.
I guess so.
If you know, you know.
That's right.
And the funny thing is, I think it's funny as well.
I thought it was hilarious. It wasn't posted on.
Yeah, I know, but I just thought it was
Yeah.
funny. I don't care. You can't laugh at yourself.
Well, that's all you got to deal with in life, I guess. Go for it.
Yeah, that's true. Some people must be bored to hell.
So I just want to.
He's had enough.
So I want to say one thing before
Yes,
we
sir.
end the show. Is I want to thank the school for setting up the middle school cafeteria for the Board of Finance to have their meeting, and the individual Kyle, I think is his name, that went through the effort.
Kyle Gunderman.
Yep.
Of setting it all up, and having all the people there, being able to get in there, because they wouldn't fit in the town hall. I'll tell you that right now. Not all the people. that showed
Kyle
up.
does work a lot of hours. I mean, Kyle gets there in the morning, and he was there last night. Taking care of the streaming. Yep. So got to give him credit.
So that was good.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I got a question. How come? And I've gone to these meetings, the public hearings, and they've been in the middle school for a few years. And you go there, and they got the boards spread out all over the place. They sit,
COVID.
They sit in the town hall and they sit next to each other.
So
It was COVID. That's when it started.
COVID started. So, and the reason why it's still like that, honestly, we like our space. So, I mean, I know for Board of Ed, when we go, we each have our own table.
Yeah, but they weren't going through they had their same printouts. That's all they were using was the printout.
No.
Right, but the space were like.
Right, they weren't breaking out their books and opening things up.
Right.
They weren't even. I talked to Rob last night. They weren't even supposed to get engaged with people.
Right. Yeah. It's public hearing. Yeah.
I don't understand why they're so. I'm like, holy cow! Hello, you over there? I mean, geez.
Yeah. No,
it's because the meeting gets held later in the day. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I
Kathy's got her spreadsheet spread out all over her table.
Yeah. You know what I would like is because I in the beginning when Scott was kind of giving like an overview of everything, and he said, I might use the whiteboard or whatever. It was behind us. And I almost wish they would flip, then have like the board sit on like the stage end and everybody else at the other end, because even when like for Board of Ed, when we're like watching, or listening to presentations, it's behind them, like when they're presenting, and it's just hard to, I don't know.
I like to see it in the auditorium. You pull the screen down, then it's right behind them. Right, seats are a lot more comfortable than the metal chairs.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised they didn't do it in the auditorium.
Yeah. So anyway, I just want to thank the school for that, and working with the Board of Finance and having that done.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Kyle afterwards and thanked him. I'm like, thank you for staying late to do this. I know you didn't have to. I appreciate it.
He goes, I
so
got
it was
paid,
nice.
bitches.
Yeah, I hope he did. I certainly hope he did. That he was providing a service, so I hope he was compensated for that.
Paul, any last comments, about today, what we spoke about, and how do you feel about the budget going forward? Let me ask that differently. Did last night's meeting affect or change any view that you had on the budget going forward towards referendum?
No, because I kind of
Same question for everybody.
I kind of expected it was going to be at the 1.5, 1.6. I knew it was coming. My only concern is I'm not sure if you get a true picture of how people feel as a result of last night's meeting, because it was pretty much wrecked, which is okay, but I don't know how the rest of the people feel.
Got it. Kathy?
Come back to me.
Okay. Rich, are you?
Yeah,
Unless you want me to just, because I'm sure Wayne's got 10 minutes of conversation
You got to
lined
go back
up.
to Kathy first.
Oh,
after that.
oh.
Yeah, I agree with Paul. I think that it wasn't well presented in the way of what are you in favor of and what are you not in favor of with this budget. I think a 1.5 mil increase is respectable. I don't know. I mean, save a guy's job on top of it. Sure. Obviously the guy's wanted. I mean, you heard everybody talk about him. I mean, I don't know him, but I think with the 1.5, but I think if you really want to improve anything, take that 150,000, put it back in the bank and make it part of the mill rate increase and move on. Stop kicking the can down the road.
Let it lap, baby.
So, I understand the rec feedback and stuff like that. That was impacting a person's job and going forward with the programs there. And there wasn't enough conversation on the cuts for the school. I didn't see a lot of concern with what was being cut from the school. I think there's some positions. They're utilizing some retirements. They lost a capital project that is going to, down the road, impact, I think, the students' performances and I'm going to mention it, and I'm going to be put in a doghouse.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
going to say it. Chromebooks.
Oh, my God.
That was a mistake.
It's the end of the world for Wayne as we know it.
So, and
Wayne, I want to thank you for your service here at SN.
So
Why do they have to be Chrome?
Why not platinum books?
Why not platinum books? There's a little bit more.
The music's playing in his head, believe me.
So, these things get old after 4 years,
Oh,
and a lot of
boy.
people that have got experience with them know that, and even with your phones, and I've said this before, look at your phones. You get a new phone, every 3 years? On the average, usually, maybe 4 years.
Rich is like, nah.
I know probably us old people, we can live with them for 10
Believe it
years.
or not, I've had this for 3.5 years.
Yeah, so there you go.
Same thing.
I've had mine for 3 years, but
What do I need anything more than what I got for it? It works.
But look at the kids, they'd like to have a phone every
They
year.
want the latest and greatest.
But I'm just saying, we talked about impact. So I'm just worried about the impact going down the road with that and the impact on the school and being competitive with other school districts. Because the thing that really attracted us 40 years ago when we came to this town, probably about 38, was the campus. It was the school campus and the future possibilities for our kids to go to that school. And I think a lot of people that moved to this town looked at the campus and things like that, and that's why they're here in the town. And that I was a little surprised at. I didn't see a lot of talk about what's going to be impacted by the school, the $385,000 that they had to cut. There was only one senior there. I talked about the taxes. So I think there should have been a little bit more support for some other areas, even for the fire department. That took a hit, because nobody realizes that they have a volunteer fire service, and if you're going to pay some people, like some of our neighbors do,
Watch where your mill rate goes. There.
that's a lot of money to pay a couple guys full time. So that's what I got to say. I know that there are a lot of people concerned about the rec position. That was a mistake to even consider cutting that in the first place. You should have been looking at other areas. If they didn't expect to get feedback from that, then it shouldn't be a surprise.
You You want to have last word?
Sure.
All right.
I'm ready to go.
All right.
So,
Well, no, I was.
you meant last before you. Okay,
yeah,
go
I mean, you can have the
okay.
end it all. I don't think a lot of people follow, or even because I know I don't, and I keep learning it every year. And Scott Davis, he explains it to me every year, and for some reason I don't comprehend it. And that's the whole Mike's not really that smart thing. What does a 1.5 mil increase mean? You know, people look at that and go, "Oh, it's only 1.5. What the doesn't mean nothing, right?" What does it mean? Well, if you have a house that is valued at 150K, your taxes would go up $225 here.
A year.
A year.
A year.
What did I say? A month?
No, you didn't.
No.
I know last
all
night.
right.
Last night he was saying $256,
Right.
and I just
It's
to be
per
clear,
year.
per year. So that's what $12
$12 here.
$12 a month.
200K if your house is assessed at that. It's $300 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
And if your house is valued at $250,000, then you'd be looking at $375 additional a year, which is like $20 a month.
30, yeah.
Right, right around the 18 to 20.
30, yeah.
Now, of course, your house or property may be assessed lower. You know, of course, some of your homes or properties would be assessed higher. So, but that's a kind of a middle of the road, I think, of where the property values are. Scott Davis also said that the car taxes, you have to look at that as well, but that's calculated completely different. I think we got to look at my thing about the meeting last night is I thought it was a rec center love fest. Ryan Aubin looked fabulous, looked like a boy bander. I texted that to him too. But I really enjoyed the heartfelt speech from Jolene, his wife.
That broke me. That
yeah,
really did. I was just like, ugh. As a mom and a wife,
You heard the message.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'd leave.
Right.
Yeah.
That was
And
the message.
that was
And don't think Jolene don't pull the strings in that house. Sorry.
As a wife and a mom listening to her, I mean,
you could hear it in her voice.
It broke me. It really did.
She knows. She lives with it.
Right. And knowing that, he's working constantly and, always on call or whatever.
Let's not kid each other. He can go to other towns and make more money.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
One of the things I said last night.
But he's a Griswold boy.
Yeah.
One
of the things I said last night myself is that if you cut the position, Phil loses not just the position. And
it's the stuff that comes with that.
It's the insurances and everything.
Well, it's the benefit to the town too.
Exactly.
That goes
it'll
away.
cost the town more money
than what they cut.
In the long
run. Exactly.
Wayne was getting at that before.
Huh?
Yeah.
He was getting at that before.
Yeah, take a look
Yeah,
at the
sure.
money that's not coming in because those programs that aren't being ran.
Right.
Gone
Or
Phil's
how about the same programs, but some of the kids aren't going to come back because it's not filled.
Is there, yeah. Oh yeah.
Now you can't rely on that, for the next 20 years or whatever. But
Yeah, we have to look at the position, not the person necessarily.
exactly.
True.
But Phil is where that he is part of that. He is part of the culture that is the youth center. So, yeah, I think I don't think we cut that at all. I would be pretty pissed off if we end up cutting that because I think that's cutting off your nose to spite your face.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't really have anything more than that, just because I think people need to know how it affects them financially. Quit looking for a 0% increase because you think it's a good deal, because it's not. And because you talked about it too, Rich. We're at 1.5, right? But 0 and 0 before that. What's the average? 0.5. It's the same thing.
That's right.
Here we are now.
And that's just to stay where we're at.
Exactly.
Not to move forward.
Exactly.
And you can pay me now or you can pay me later. So that's all I got. Kathy, you have last dibs today.
Yep. So a couple of things. I think Scott did a great job when he opened the meeting and kind of explained the process and went through and kind of highlighted, like you just did, with the increases and what they would, dollar signs. People want to know money. How does it affect them? So I think he did a great job, with the opening and the intro and everything. What I would like to see, and I think we have to appreciate that your average resident doesn't keep up with all this stuff and look at all the watch all the meetings and everything every single day like a lot of us do. So I think what would help is to have presentations by the town and by the superintendent to highlight things in their budgets. For example, hey, you might see, this line item for registrar of voters increase substantially. The reason you're going to see that is because of this mandate, for the early voting. You might see this decreased a lot and this is why, just highlight certain things, and that kind of thing. What else I would like to see too is that once we make changes to these budgets based on the public hearing and it goes to referendum, if it fails, this is what's going to be cut. I think it's important that residents who are voting know what they're voting for. So if they think the mill rate's too high, I think it's important that they know that if they vote no and it doesn't pass, what they're actually voting for. They're voting for this, and this to be cut in order to hit what they want for a mill rate. I think that would be helpful to have that prepared ahead of time. I also think this public hearing would be good to have in the very beginning of the process. Have this, let people talk about what's important to them, what they don't want, what they do want, then start reviewing the budget and making cuts and increasing, decreasing things here and there. And then have another public hearing. And I don't think there's anything saying you can't have two, then that way you, right. And then that would, help residents be more informed and all of that as they're going through the process. So I think all of that would help going forward for your average resident.
And I agree with that. And I'll tell you why, because that budget could get voted down and it may be because people want more.
Right.
You don't know. That's the point of having a hearing before.
Didn't we talk about having a question?
Yeah.
Before, well, they used to do that with the school budget. Is it too low? Is it too high? If you're going to vote, for whatever reason, if you voted no for it.
Yeah.
But they don't do that with the general budget.
Somebody asked.
It
That
was yesterday. We talked about it yesterday, and
but you can avoid that because here we go back down into you're going to have another referendum at $5,000 or $6,000 because you don't know, a hearing prior to, and let everybody get their crap out on the table. Let them come up with something, have another hearing, tune it, whatever you got to do, and then go to a vote. Then you're satisfying what people want.
What the majority
you don't know right now what people want.
See, this is why I feel that, and this is me and my soapbox, what we all do collectively here is really pretty important, I think, because we try to present as much town information as we can. Is some of it opinion? Sure. Of course it is.
Yeah.
But it's not like 80% opinion like they do on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, or any of those. I think we all have our own opinions. I think we keep it limited.
And I think Scott did a great job when he opened the conversation up last night and explained that $600,000
Yes.
first and foremost, because let's face it, it wasn't all over social media, but it was going there, and put the fire out now.
Talked about it yesterday too when he was on on the show.
Yeah, and it made much more sense, as the way he explained it. And I think.
He agreed. We don't have to pay that back, but
you still have to fill the gap.
Exactly.
So the last thing I want to mention too is that there have been a question about streaming. We didn't know if the public hearing would be streamed and just streaming in general. So I put out, of course, this is just like totally unofficial, but just for shits and giggles, I put a poll out on the Grizzled News and Notes page, and just asking, are you going to tonight's public hearing? And I had 4 options: you're going, you're not going, didn't know about it, not going, work, kids, etc. Not going, don't care. Or not going, but we'll watch the stream.
I was surprised, that people were ballsy enough to say, don't care.
Don't care. So we had 96 responses. 9 votes said not going, don't care. So, okay, fine. And that's
don't complain.
Fine, right. Exactly.
Then don't complain. Exactly.
And this is why the streaming is so important. Out of 96 votes, we had 48 of them can't go, kids,
Work, exactly.
That is why streaming is so important. I understand this is a small sample and it's, completely unofficial.
And I have something to tell you about that after.
But this shows you, people are working second shift.
Yep.
People have, they're taking care of their parents, their elderly parents at home, and they can't leave them alone. They're bringing their kid to travel softball over in, New Britain for practice, or, there are
second jobs to pay for bills.
Right.
Yeah.
There are
or third even.
Yeah.
There are reasons why people aren't can't come to the meetings in person, and the mindset of, well, if it was important to them, they would show up. No, that's not it. Rich didn't go. He was in training. They were doing fire training over in Patchogue, lighting forest fires, controlled burns, and learning and training on how to put them out, because we're getting into that season. So, there are people out there that have legitimate reasons why they cannot show up to these meetings. The streaming is so important. I've had numerous people reach out to me asking for the link, and I've been sharing it and sharing it and sharing it and sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
We need, the streaming has to become more common and just more accepted as a means of getting information.
I'm looking at, for example, the not going, don't give a crap.
Yeah, don't care. Yep.
Yeah. Let me see.
And there are names that I don't even recognize except one.
But my point was, and there's another one there I'm sure you know. And anyway, but don't mention it. A lot of these are people that don't even live in town.
Well, and that's possible
Yeah,
too.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
And I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't.
Yep.
But it's the people. How about the people that live in town that actually maybe have dependency on the education budget, and they're not going, don't care.
What do you mean? You lost me. Educate.
Let's say you vote, and let's say you work for the Board of Ed.
Yep. Okay.
And you put don't care, not going.
Yep.
Would that be important to you to go to that meeting, or at least watch it, or something like that?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then there are people that I see that are just complainers anyway.
Yeah.
You pick who they are. So.
But I thought it was interesting to see the not going, with other
Don't
obligations.
care. Yeah.
And I think a lot of us know that, but that's not appreciated.
There's a lot of after school activities their kids are involved with. So they they'd rather watch their kids do their after school activities,
Go home,
or they
eat
got to take them
dinner,
there,
Right.
they
do
bring
their
them
thing,
home.
Yeah.
and sit down and watch it.
Bath
Fix
time,
dinner,
whatever.
blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the other thing is it's streamed, it's recorded. You can watch it anytime you want and get
Mhm.
informed. There's also minutes on the website. You can read up on the minutes. Not everything's in the minutes.
No, it's better
But-
to watch it.
Yeah.
I usually just have it in the background. Just have it playing in the background while you're doing the
Yeah.
dishes.
Or
listen
even
to
skip
it,
over the parts you don't want.
Oh yeah. If you
Yeah.
double click, it forwards 10 seconds. Double click,
Yeah.
double click,
Yeah.
you can totally do that. But
And there's people that live in town that they don't care because
They don't think-
It's not their town.
They just live here. They
Yeah,
got no
they
commitment.
live here,
Like how long have you lived in town?
35 years.
You,
44.
Paul?
I think it's been about.
Oh no, shit! Hold on, more like 50.
No,
Paul?
Me,
No, it's 70s.
50.
Yeah.
oh, you obviously
Yeah.
like the 70s.
I was here before you because remember baseball.
Kathy?
12 years.
So that's the time. I got 39 years in town.
Mhm.
We all care about what goes on in town. My kids went through the school system.
Sure.
Mhm.
It's not that I don't care about what goes on in the school system anymore because they're not there. My kids got a good education.
Mhm.
I mean, my youngest, when he graduated, was 21 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe people get to that point and it's like, who cares?
Yeah.
I still
If I saw that poll you put up and it was on a Norwich page, I probably would say,
Yeah, right. Of course. Of course.
I don't live there. So
Yep.
Put
that's a
that-
different world there with
Put
that.
that to how many people are going to vote.
Yeah, we can do that when it comes time to vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many people
Will
do
you
think
be
are
going to
gonna
vote?
I
Yep.
think a lot of people think they don't have any influence on what the outcomes
Right.
are going to be. If
And that-
you
and that's
pay attention on what's going on and you understand how it's going to impact the school or town services or whatever, I mean, there's Lori Sorter got up last night, talked about the roads again.
Mhm.
Yep.
right? And I know Tina's talked about the roads.
All right,
and-
we can go on for another 4 hours on
Yeah,
this. You
but-
know what I mean?
Yep.
And we've already been here an hour and a half. So yeah, I know.
The vote is two different. You're voting for
Two different budgets.
The budgets are separate. You're voting for Board of Ed and board and town budget.
And general town budget.
So
right,
what I want to do
separate.
is I want to go around. This is really going to be it because everybody's like, "Screw you, I'm out of here."
Yeah.
But I want to record this to see how we are. Every poll we've done it a million times. I know I use that phrase a lot. I've used it a million times. What is the percentage of the percentage of registered voters that you feel that will go out and vote on the budget? I'll start, and I will say 6%. I will say, yeah, 6% of the registered voters will show up and vote on the budget. You?
I think it's going to be a little more because I think a lot of people may be upset with the.
You want to? You're the record keeper here.
I think a lot of people will be more upset with the 1.5, not knowing what it is.
Okay.
So I would think probably, I would say 25%.
Whoa! Are you serious?
You think a quarter of the
we
population is
didn't
going
have
to
that
vote?
many come out for.
So
the
you're
elections,
gonna
like,
say
oh.
there's gonna be 4,500 votes in this.
Drop it down to 15.
Okay.
Yeah, we only had like 22%.
That's high hopes there, man.
Holy moly!
You said 6?
I said 6. What do you think, Mr. Canova?
I'll say 4.5.
Okay. I was actually going that way. I thought 6 was actually being generous. What's up, Mr. Lilliputian? He's really not that short. That's the funny thing.
So anyway, I think it's going to be
We
around
represent the
11,
lollipop
12%.
kids.
That's what I think.
You're
Pick
saying
a number,
12?
11 or 12. What is it?
11.
11. Mark it down. Court Kinney says 10%.
Got it.
Kathy, where are you at?
I'm going 8.
8%?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So, and I will, I'll make sure I get a hold of our old friend, Jen Gauthier, who.
She's been quiet lately.
Well,
They're in
they're in
session.
session
That's
right
true.
now, too. So,
I haven't heard from her at all.
Jen, we love you. We miss you. I don't care what Dana Bennett says.
Sure.
Dana, no, I'm kidding. I'm
Oh
kidding. That's a
my
joke. You're not in
God.
office anymore. It doesn't
You're-
matter.
You're not kidding.
I am.
You're
You know
not.
what? I have seen.
Don't backpedal. You already said it.
No.
You're screwed.
I've said it too, that I have seen them when she was first selectman out, and she's very nice. She's always very nice. You know, I mean, the business world is the business world.
yeah.
But as a person, I've always thought she was very nice. She was actually pretty funny. So,
One last thing.
Oh,
Board of
Jesus.
Board of Finance, is that tomorrow? May 2nd.
May 9th.
No, May 2nd.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. They have a meeting tomorrow to discuss,
Yeah,
you know, the feedback they got
Yes.
from public hearing. So there is a Board of Finance tomorrow night. I'm guessing 7. I don't know. I'd
That's
have
not
to
a lot
look.
of time, is it? 2 days?
No. And then the referendum, there's a town meeting too. I don't remember the dates for the town
We'll get
meeting.
it out there.
But and then the vote is June 4th.
and join Grizzled News and Notes.
Mhm.
It's the official.
For all your news and notes about
For all your
Griswold.
news and notes. All right, we're finally going to end it. Paul's falling asleep over there.
5:21 town meeting.
All right, 5:21.
Yep.
So, you know, they say April showers bring May flowers, and we're going to get out of here because it's May. And in the immortal words of, hold on, Justin Timberlake, you ready, Kathy? I know. It's gonna